Okay, in this lesson I wanted to talk about something called modal interchange, what it is and how it can help you in your improvising thinking or being aware of modal interchange. I'm going to use the tune Night and Day for this. I think it's a good example of a tune that has modal interchange in it. Let me just open this. So I'm going to make a series of videos on modal interchange. I've collected notes from lectures and stuff that I've been attending over the years, and so there's a lot of different opinions on what this is. There's a little bit of a confusion, I think, out there. So this is my take on it based on stuff that I've learned over the years. So I'm gonna, in this first lesson, I'm just going to talk on what it is and give some basic examples of modal interchange. But basically what it is that it's if you take the chords of a major scale, like with C major, you have all these chords, right? C major, D minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming you know this stuff. If we take the relative minor, I always get confused if it's relative or parallel because it's the reverse in Europe, but I think it's the relative minor, which is C minor. Take those chords, one, 2, minor 7 flat 5, flat 3, major 7. You can take any of those chords and borrow from that key where you're in C major. So if you're playing in C major, and then let's say you are going to F, you can play F minor. Pretty straightforward, right? It's not. This is very common in pop music and in it's not just in jazz, right? Some of these chords, you could borrow any of those chords from the minor, the relative minor, and some of them are more common than others. The idea is that that's what modal interchange. Then there are other chords too that falls under the category of modal interchange, in my opinion, that functions, but I'm gonna get into that in later videos. This is the most basic. You're borrowing from the minor key to the major key. Interestingly, we don't do it the other way around. When we're playing in C minor, we don't borrow from C major, which is kind of interesting. But so another common thing would go to A flat. So let's say you're in C major, D minor, G, back to C, you go to A flat. Right? It can be very cheesy if you do it the wrong way, and it's overused, but it's also very it's a great thing when you do it properly, or how should I put it? If you use it in the right way, can be really great. Sorry, I'm distracted because there's like the church bells ringing outside it. It's really annoying. So the most common, I think, is to go to 4 minor, which would be F minor in the key of C major. So a D minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is the 2 chord in C minor, can also be used in C major, right? Which is the case in the tune Night and Day. If you take that D minor 7 flat 5, those notes are the exact same notes as in an F minor 6. This is basically an F minor 6 chord in third inversion. That's first root, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion of F minor 6. So it's basically an F minor 6. It sounds pretty much the same. So a good way were to maybe just loop those chords to practice over. So D minor 7 flat 5, G7 to C major. So I can think D minor 7 flat 5 to C major. Or F minor 6. It's a very gypsy jazz thing to do that, F minor 6. So that kind of helps because it can be kind of tricky to think D minor 7 flat 5. Would, I guess the scale would be Locrian natural 2, which is the same thing as F melodic minor. Again, you have that connection to F minor. It's also interesting to note that that scale is kind of a half scale of C major and a half scale of C minor, if that helps. Or you can think of a whole chunk of chords, D minor 7 flat 5, G7, as some kind of D minor. I mean, sorry, C minor. So those two bars is C minor, C major, C minor, C. So that it kind of relates to what I was talking before with key centers. So even though some of those notes are gonna clash, maybe it's just a different way of thinking of it. So I'm gonna try to think C minor, C major, and just think like that. C minor, C major. I mean, it sounds pretty good, I think. C minor. Right? It's a different approach, and you can come up with new ideas from doing this. Some of you are thinking, well, it's not actually those chords in this tune. The original chords are A flat, major 7 to G. But most people play D minor 7 flat 5 because it fits better into the bebop idiom, right? But let's do A flat instead. So it would be same thing. I'm gonna play C minor over the A flat. I'm not thinking A flat, I'm thinking C minor. C major. I could play the same motif, right? Experiment like that, or just run the scales. Alright, so instead of just the normal way of practicing, just practicing arpeggios, bebop scales, what have you, I'm kind of simplifying, and my point is that I'm aware of the modal interchange, that I'm going from a minor to a major kind of tonality. Then in the B section of the tune we have this E flat, C major. So it's easier maybe for the ear and for our brain to think C minor, C major there, than to think E flat Lydian to C Lydian or something. I mean, you should be able to do both. So I'll play those chords here. E flat, C major. C minor. Just trying to come up with motifs. You get the idea. So then there are all these other chords, so I'm not going to cover in this lesson, but so my point here is to make you consider the modal interchange aspect. So what else do I need to... Yeah, so thanks for watching, and head over to my Patreon page if you feel like contributing to my production of these videos. And I shall see you next time.